Hi everyone, it's Lisa Mears. Thank you for being here. For my card today, I'm making a Christmas scene card using some new Christmas and winter products from Pretty Pink Posh. I'll be stenciling on colored cardstock, die cutting some images with some new winter dies, and coloring up some Christmas stamped images. I'll be using the pine tree die set, which consists of 3 pine trees. These are great to create winter scenes. I will be using the Happy Christmas stamp set, which is a mini stamp set that has Santa Claus, a small Christmas tree, a present, a few snowflakes, Santa's toy sack, and some sentiments such as Happy Holidays, Merry Christmas, and Ho Ho Ho. I will also be using the layered Christmas lights stencil. I used this stencil in a previous video on white cardstock to create a card background, but this time I'll be using it on colored cardstock and die cutting it with my pine tree dies. If you're interested in any of the products that I use in this video today, I will have links to all of the supplies down in the description box below. So I have a piece of green cardstock and I am going to use the first layer. This is the layer A of the 3-layer stencil. These are some pine leaves. And I'm adding it to the cardstock, and I'm going to use my Mowed Lawn Distress Oxide ink to ink this up. So I'm using a green ink on the green cardstock to ink up all of these leaves. After I ink up layer A, I remove it and I add layer B of my stencil. And layer B is the string of lights for your Christmas lights. So I line it up, add my magnets, and I'm going to be using the Distress Oxide Rustic Wilderness ink to ink the strings up. After I ink up the strings, I remove that stencil and then I add my third stencil, which is layer C. This is the actual lights. I line that up and I'm going to use 3 different inks today. I'm going to be using the Candied Apple, which is the red, the Prize Ribbon, which is the blue, as well as the Fossilized Amber, which is the yellow. Rather than going with one color for all of the Christmas lights, I decided to use 3 different colors and just put them in a pattern on my background. I'm using a mini finger dauber to ink those up because it just allows me to add the ink to the smaller areas of the stencil rather than using a larger ink blending tool, which will not give me as much control when adding the ink to the smaller areas. So I go ahead and finish inking up this entire background. And then when I finish, I'll go ahead and remove my stencil. And look how pretty that stencil is on that colored cardstock. So next I'm going to use the pine tree dies. I'm just using my wire cutter to snip out the centers, which is the die used for die cutting the tree bark. So I'm taking that out of there, but I'm going to leave the trees together, and then I'm just going to put this face down on my cardstock, and I'm going to tape it down so that it stays in place, and I'll run this through my die cutting machine. So after I die cut it, you can see what these trees look like, and it looks like they have Christmas lights on them. I just love the way that that looks using the stencil on these trees. So here's an up close picture of that. And now I'm just going to take some of my green ink and I'm just going to put some more green ink along the edges of all of these trees just for some extra depth and definition for these Christmas trees. I die cut the tree barks with brown cardstock. I'm going to add glue to them and then I'm going to add them to each one of the Christmas trees. For my card background, I cut a piece of blue cardstock to 6 3/4 inches by 4 3/4 inches. And I'm inking up the edges with Broken China Distress Oxide ink just to add a little bit of interest to that background. I also die cut several snowflakes from the Pretty Pink Posh Mitten Shaker die, using the snowflake die from that set. And now I'm going to arrange the snowflakes and the Christmas trees on my blue card layer. Once I have them arranged, I will go ahead and add glue to the snowflakes and add them to the card. Notice that some of the snowflakes are going off of the cardstock layer, which is fine. I'll cut the edges off of those. And I'm also tucking some snowflakes behind the Christmas trees. I am leaving an open space towards the middle so that I can put my sentiment there. And once I have all of the snowflakes adhered down to the card layer, I'll go ahead and place the sentiment stamp where I want it. And then I'll take the entire card layer to my Misty. I'll add it to my Misty, holding it down with the magnets, but I will remove the Christmas trees. I have not glued those down yet. So I'll go ahead and ink up my stamp with some black ink and then stamp it down onto that card layer. Next, I'll remove that card layer from the Misty and then I'll just flip it over to the back side and I'll trim off the excess snowflakes. Next, I'm going to create a snowy border. So I have a piece of cardstock that I cut to the width of my card layer, which is 6 3/4 inches. I'm just using my scissors to cut a little snow hill out of that, and then I'm going to add that to the bottom of that card. And I'm able to get 2 snowy hills out of that one cut, so I'm going to add the smaller one at the very bottom and have the larger one sticking up behind it. Next, I'm going to go ahead and add my trees. I'm going to tuck 2 of the larger trees in the background behind the larger snowy hill, and then the smaller tree will be tucked in front of the smaller snowy hill in the front. So I'll go ahead and put glue on the back of those and add them to my card. I'm going to go ahead and color up some images from the Happy Santa stamp set. So I stamped my images onto some Spectrum Noir Ultra Smooth cardstock, which is the cardstock that I use for alcohol marker coloring, and I am using my Copic markers to do my coloring. I will list all of the Copic marker colors that I use to color these images down in the description box of this YouTube video. In the meantime, I'm going to set this to music and I'll be back in just a few with the rest of the card. I'm also going to be bringing in a couple of these reindeer from the Pretty Pink Posh Reindeer Friends stamp set, and I previously colored these when I made a card last Christmas, so I just had these in an envelope, and I'm going to go ahead and pull these out and use them on this card. If you want to see how I colored up those reindeer, I will have a link up here at the top right hand corner of this video, as well as in the description box, to a video that I previously made using these reindeer. So I'm going to go ahead and take all of these stamped images and just put them on my card to create a cute little winter scene with Santa and the reindeer and his toy sack with some presents in front of it. And once I have everything where I want it, I'm going to go ahead and glue everything down. I'll go ahead and add some white gel pen accents to my stamped images. I'm also going to use my white gel pen to add some snowdrops to the background of the card, as well as some white dots on the Christmas trees. Next, I'll add this layer to a 5x7 white card base, and that will complete my Christmas scene card. So I hope you liked my video today. If you did like this video, please click that thumbs up button and be sure to click that subscribe button and turn on your bell notification so that you'll be notified every time I release a new video. Thanks for watching and have a great day. Bye-bye.